Hi, I'm Rula from Change Your Life Now. I wanted to talk to you a little bit today about your body and your immune system. So, when we are born, we are a soul that has come into this body. And the soul is a spiritual part of us because we know that when we die, the soul leaves the body and the body remains behind. So, when we're born, the soul comes into the body and we are a spiritual being having a human experience. You have to look at it like that. And everything that happens in our life is an experience. Everything that happens in our life is a lesson. It's part of the journey of living. And how we look at everything that happens in our life is very important. When we are going through challenges in life, every single challenge is there for us to learn from. We cannot look at it as, oh, woe is me, I've had such a bad influence in my life. I've had so many terrible things happen to me. I've had trauma. I've been treated like this. This has happened to me. That has happened to me. We have to look at everything that happens to us, not as something to destroy us, but as something to help us grow and learn from. It happens for us. It happens for a reason. And so we have to look at a particular event that happens and understand, well, what am I learning from this? Instead of going into victim and saying, I was abused as a child. I had a very traumatic upbringing. My parents were alcoholics. We were poor. We didn't have any money. All these things that happened to us have happened as a lesson. So we have to really go into it and understand, what am I learning from this? And in hypnotherapy, for example, we will go back during timeline therapy to understand when was the first time that I learned anger. When was the very first time that I decided that this emotion of anger has to be part of me and it affects me so much? For example, I can remember a time when I was a little girl and my parents were arguing and my father left the house and I thought it was my fault. I was to blame, or whatever we believed. And we decided I'm angry with my mother because it was her fault that dad left, or it was father's fault that mum was behaving the way she was behaving. And it's just a belief system that we created. But when we go into it, whether it's through hypnotherapy or kinesiology, and we understand that it was a programmed belief, it was just something that at the time we decided we were to blame, or we decided we were not good enough, or we decided that we didn't love ourselves. And then that continues throughout our lives as a regular occurrence. So every time we get challenged by something, we will go back to that little girl, for example, or little boy who was angry and who was disrespected, and something happened and they felt, oh my gosh, it's my fault that my parents separated, or it was my fault that I was abused, or I deserve it because I'm not good enough. And we've kept it in our body. We've kept it in our body and we haven't shared it. We haven't talked about it. And it stayed from little child. And it's just every time another challenge and another challenge. And yeah, well, okay, I'm not good enough, and no wonder things keep coming to me. But our immune system will go into shock. Our immune system will suffer because every time we take on a challenge and we do not work on it, we do not understand it, and we do not process it, our body will lock it in and it goes to a deep cellular level. It goes deeper and deeper into the body. Every single cell feels that emotion. And of course, that affects your immune system. So when you're in your 50s and your 60s and you end up with bowel cancer or lung cancer, or you have issues with your elbow or with your lower back, every single aspect of the body is connected to an emotion. It is just so deep, and we're not taught that. We haven't been taught that at schools. We haven't been taught that in any form of therapy until recently. We're starting on, actually, it hasn't been going on recently. It's been going on for thousands of years. If you look at traditional Chinese medicine, for example, where they understand that the emotions are connected to the body at a very physical level. But the West hasn't acknowledged that. And we're starting to see that now. We're starting to understand that our body carries emotion. People like Gabor Mate talk about it, talk about the disconnection at childbirth and how we felt rejected by our parents because we weren't breastfed, or we felt rejected by our parents because there was another sibling born after us. All these belief systems were programmed into us. You know, we were attacked by somebody who abused us, whether it was physical or emotional abuse, and we decided that it was our fault. We have not been taught to understand the challenges. And when we experience challenges, we have to be taught, let's just learn from this experience. What have I learned? We have to look at it from the body perspective. Where is it stuck in my body? Where is this emotion stuck? And because we haven't expressed our emotions, because we haven't expressed our anger, it is stuck in our body somewhere. And it becomes rage. And that is what I talk about, the fight or flight. You end up taking and taking and taking, and and you block it and you suppress it and you suppress it, and you numb with alcohol, or you numb with overeating, or you numb with binging and purging, or you numb with I don't know, having sex or shopping or doing all these other crazy things that we do so that we do not feel. We have to feel. We have to really process the emotion. And yes, we need help. We can't just do it on our own unless we get the help, unless we start working with the body and understanding, where is it that I'm holding this emotion in my body? Do I want it to destroy my immune system? Do I want to be healthy? Do I want to love my body enough that I nourish it with beautiful, healthy food? Do I want to treasure my body to nourish it with fresh, clean air as opposed to smoking or taking excess drugs that only numb me and stop me from thinking and feeling because I don't want to feel anymore? Well, maybe I should feel. Maybe I need to feel to get it out of my body to release it. The immune system is very powerful. We have a wonderful system that helps us clear the emotional pathways. We can work at a deep cellular level with our biochemical procedures that we use in kinesiology, for example, where we go into a deeper level, where we look at the amino acids, where we look at your vitamins, how your body is producing vitamins. We look at your chromosomes, and we can look at your DNA structure. What have you inherited from your parents? What emotion have you inherited from your parents? Yes, it's in the DNA. It is something that is passed down through our families. Bruce Lipton talks about how the environment can affect our DNA. These new sort of people that are talking about how we can change our DNA. Many of these gurus that are out there at the moment and have been for many years tell us that we can change our DNA because our DNA is shaped by our environment. It is shaped by externally, the social media, by friends and relatives, by programming, the church, the community, family, parents. We are programmed, and our environment can change our DNA. We might be very strong quality people. We might be very strong, confident people that value ourselves, but we are changed by the environment around us. So we have to really look at this environment, and we have to say, what is serving me and what is not serving me? We have to go within and look at our emotions and look at the deep cellular level of how I'm not processing the nourishment that I get in my body. How am I not allowing my emotions to nourish me? At a deep biochemical level. Why is my body not producing enough dopamine or happy hormone or serotonin? Why is my body continually producing cortisol? And why is it stuck and giving me this fight or flight tendency where I'm constantly being triggered by people, where I'm constantly running away or fighting to survive? Well, work on your immunity, work on your body, understand, what are you holding on to that is making you unwell? What are you holding on to that is affecting your health? Feel the emotion, write about it, talk about it, feel the emotion. And yes, things happen to us. Stories, we can repeat them again and again and again. We can talk about what happened to us and, oh, woe is me, this happened to me, that happened to me. Yes, we can still talk about it. We can be afraid to go back and relive the trauma. We don't have to. We don't have to go back and relive it. We can just observe it and understand, what have we learned from that? Was it my fault? What made me believe what I believe. And by going back and processing and understanding the lesson, it's all about the lesson. Your body is your vessel. Your soul is here to learn something from life's experiences. And you want to be able to enjoy your life. You want to be able to live your life to the full, not to be in fear, not to be angry, not to be resentful. You don't want to be that person. You want to value yourself so that you can have a good career, so that you can have a healthy life, be productive, be there for your family, be there for those who are struggling with life. And the only way that you can do that is if you can work on yourself. The only way that you can be there in this crazy world that we're living in at the moment is to work on yourself and to understand that your immunity is very, very powerful. But you need to go through the emotions. You need to understand why you are sick. You need to understand what is it that you're holding on to that is making you sick at a deep cellular level. So that's my message for today, and I hope it rings true for anyone. Work on yourself. You deserve it. Have a lovely day. Namaste.